Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the 40-day journey to the cross through the words of Christ, following the "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus" study guide by the DailyGraceCo. Hello if you are new here, and welcome back to those who are back from watching day 7. I appreciate you guys greatly. Thank you for all the interaction, the likes and the comments, and for subscribing to my channel. It's still weird to say that to me. That's why I'm stuttering. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love, and I'm just continue to do this in the hopes that I get to teach other people about Jesus and God's love for us. So welcome if you are new here. Today we are going to be jumping into week 2, day 8. I do want to remind you guys that at any point in time, you guys can reference the Lent season playlist, and that's where all the videos are being stored. Of course, if you go through the channel, they're there as well, but they might be a little bit harder to find depending on how far in we are. But if you are just tuning in, please feel free to stick around. You don't have to go to day 1. You can definitely do that on another day, but stick around for day 8. You can definitely jump in. So the way that this works is I read our memory verse for the week, I read our devotional for the day, along with the reflection and prayer question at the end. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here. Today, our main focus is the resurrection and the life. We are focusing on John 11:25. Just double checking I'm on the right side. And if you notice, it is the same day as day 7. I'm playing catch up on recording my videos. So we're going to be jumping in here. I want to remind you guys of our memory verse for the week. Our memory verse is John 14:6. John 14:6 reads, Jesus told him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And today, again, the focus is the resurrection and the life. And if you're following along in the hard copy book, it is page 58. And also, if you're following along with the PDF version, that is page 58. So on the side, it reads, throughout John's gospel, Jesus has spoken of his own role in the resurrection. Our reading, John 11:25, says, Jesus said to Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall live. And that is the New English Standard Version. So while I was reading through this devotional, one of Bethel Music songs, Back to Life, popped into my head. So you guys should check that out, either before or after you read this. Probably after, because then it'll make sense. So the reading goes, in the 1987 film, The Princess Bride, 2 beloved characters, Fezzik and Ingo, seek out a medicine man named Miracle Max. Their friend Wesley has died, and they're hoping Max can perform a miracle. Max informs them that they are in luck because Wesley is only, quote, mostly dead. If Wesley had been, quote, all dead, the only thing left to do would be to, quote, go through his pockets and look for loose change, end quote. To Max and many of us today, death is hopeless. But as we see in John 11, even the seemingly hopeless scenario of death is not permanent when Jesus is involved. That is exactly the reminder that Mary and Martha needed in John 11. These sisters, among with their brother Lazarus, were close to Jesus, so when Lazarus falls ill, they summon Jesus to come. Strangely, Jesus does not leave right away. In fact, it is because of his love for this family that Jesus waits. Reference John 11:5-6. This delay will ultimately bring glory to God and the Son of God, verse 4, as well as bring belief for the disciples and others. Verses 14-15 and 45 can be referenced. And finally, his delay will benefit this family he loves. When Jesus finally does arrive, he is approached by a grief-stricken Martha and assures her that Lazarus will rise again. This is not news to Martha. The Jews already believed that there would be a resurrection at the end of time, and Martha reflects this belief in her response. Reference John 11:24. But throughout John's Gospel, Jesus has spoken of his own role in the resurrection. He will rise up the dead on the last day. John 6:40. He gives life. John 5:21. He, like the Father, has life in himself. Reference John 5:26. Jesus reiterates these truths to Martha with his fifth I am statement. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me, even if he dies, will live. Reference John 11:25. Jesus wants Martha to focus not on this event at the end of history, but on the one standing in front of her, the very one who will bring about the event. To demonstrate the truth of what he is claiming about himself, Jesus proceeds to raise Lazarus from death to life a few verses later. And this is where the significance of Jesus' delay is seen. There was a belief during the time that a dead person's soul would stay near their body for 3 days, hoping to enter it again. By waiting until the 4th day to perform the miracle, Jesus shows that Lazarus is not just mostly dead, he has started to decompose. Yet at the voice of Jesus, the resurrection and the life, Lazarus walks out of his own tomb. And this is our future as well. Death may be inevitable, but it is not permanent. The day that Jesus and Martha spoke of is coming, and on that day, we too will respond to Jesus' voice and rise from our tomb to live with him forever. Death may be inevitable, but it is not permanent. Our reflection question for today is, what comfort does the I am statement give to you? How can you comfort others with what Jesus says in John 11? So I'm going to go ahead and read that back to you guys. What comfort does the I am statement give to you? And the I am statement is, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And how can you comfort others with what Jesus says in John 11? So feel free to fill out those reflections. If you're interested, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know what your answer to the reflection question is. Our prayer for tonight is, give thanks to God that because of Jesus, death is not the end. Pray that you might live your life always mindful of your future resurrection. So if you'd like to share your prayer with me as well, please do. I'm going to fill this section in myself. And I want to remind you guys of tomorrow's reading, which is John 14:6. And that is for day 9, which is a Friday. Day 9, Friday, John 14:6. And the focus is the way, the truth, and the life. And if you've been doing your memory verse, repeating it, putting it as your screensaver, as we talked about before, and getting better and better at memorizing it, you'll know that John 14:6 is our memory verse of the week. And that is what we are ending with on Friday. So I'll see you guys Friday. Have a good night.